So as you can see, I'm dealing with a pretty beat up lawnmower blade. So in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to change those so you can save yourself a ton of money and get your lawnmower back in action. Hey folks, Matt here at Northern Outlier. So yeah, we're going to be changing the blades on the lawnmower today. First of all though, hit that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. Stay tuned and enjoy. So first things first, when it comes to lawnmower blades, you have one of two options. You can sharpen the blades or you can just replace them. In my case, my blades are pretty beat up. They've been on for 2 years. They've been through a lot of cutting and I basically lost the entire edge on the actual blade. And I'll show a close-up of that here. If your blade is in better shape, you will be able to probably just sharpen it. The one thing to keep in mind when you sharpen a blade is you want to balance it after. I'm not going to get into that on this episode. I am straight up just replacing my blades and putting new ones on, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So obviously in replacing your blades, you're going to need to buy new blades for the lawnmower. Your lawnmower should have an operator's manual and a parts diagram. You'll be able to find the part number for your blade, which will be specific to your machine. And once you have a part number, you can look online, find it on Google, order it. There's lots of aftermarket blades you can buy. Some are better than others. In my case, I went to the Husqvarna dealer, which is very close to me. You can do that as well. If you have a dealership close, give them the part number or tell them your machine model. They will get you the blades for you. You'll probably pay a little bit more. I paid a bit of a premium on my Husqvarna blades as they are genuine Husqvarna blades, I guess. Aftermarket blades will be quite a bit cheaper. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I've taken off one of the old blades already. I'm going to show you the old blade and I'm going to show you a new blade so you can see how bad a shape mine are in. Yours might be in better shape, so you can make the call on whether you're going to sharpen or replace. So here's the old blade. This is the cutting edge on this side. This is the cutting edge down here. You can see that it is quite a ways back. I have lost quite a bit of that metal and it's still technically cutting grass, but it's just not very efficient. And the blade itself is somewhat rusted and just kind of worn out. This is a new blade. So you can see here, it's got that straight edge where the blade is. You can compare. So you can see how there's quite a bit more material. I'm not even going to bother to sharpen this. This is garbage as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to be putting on my new blades. Again, check your parts manual, get the right part number, make sure you get the right blade that's going to fit your machine. The one thing I will make mention of is that this process will be very similar on most lawnmowers. In my case, I have a zero-turn Husqvarna Z248F model machine. But again, this process will be very similar on all machines. So being a relatively simple job, you're only going to need a few things to do this. You're going to need a wrench or a socket set. In my case, it's a 16 millimeter, and you're going to need your blades. Lastly, you're also going to need a jack or ramps or something just to elevate that machine up off the ground in order to get underneath and get at the blades. So first things first, you're going to go ahead and raise your cutting deck. You want to raise it to the highest setting to give you the most space possible underneath to work. After you've gone and raised the deck, the next step is to jack up the machine or get it elevated in order to get underneath it and get at the blades. In my case, I'm using a jack, a 3-ton jack, which is very excessive, but it's what I use on my vehicles. And I'm going to jack up the front, put some boards underneath the tires, lower it down, and that'll give me enough room to get underneath at the blades. So now that the machine is up, we are ready to remove the old blades. So I'm going to go under, I'm going to use my 16 millimeter wrench to loosen off that bolt. You might have to use a block of wood or something to jam in there because the blades might want to turn. So in order to stop the blades from turning, while you're trying to loosen that bolt, you can put in a piece of wood just to give yourself enough leverage. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get the bolts off, get the old blades off. So now that I got the old blades off, it's as simple as just doing the reverse, putting the new ones on, and tightening up and torquing the bolt. Couple things to keep in mind. First of all, your blade will be stamped where it says this side up or grass side. Make sure you install it correctly. In my case, mine says grass side. The other thing to keep in mind is the orientation of the blades. In my case, I don't have to orient the blades a certain way when I'm installing them, but check your manual and make sure you don't have to do the same. So when installing my blades, I have this star pattern on the blade here, which lines up with the spindle that goes down, which the bolt goes in, and that will lock this blade into place. So make sure when you install them, you're making sure it's all lined up and the bolts tighten securely. So all three blades are on. The bolts are tight, but I want to make sure that they're torqued properly. So again, look at your manual. In my case, it is about 60 foot per pounds or 60 to 81 Newton meters or whatever that measurement is. So I've got my torque wrench set to 60 foot per pounds. I'm going to go around and just tighten those, make sure they're good to go, and then the blades are done. So once those bolts are torqued down, you are good to go. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get these blocks out of the way, get it lowered down, and get back to cutting grass. Well, there you have it, folks. That is how you change your blades on a lawnmower. It is a super simple process, something you can definitely do yourself. Do it at home, save yourself a lot of money and a lot of time from taking it to a dealership or having someone else do it. So there you go. Again, look at your manual, follow exactly what you need to do for your machine. But again, it should be a simple and a relatively similar process. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will answer them as best as possible. I know this was a short video, but that was a very quick and easy procedure. If you want to see more videos on my lawnmower maintenance, I have a fall video as well as a spring video from a few years ago. I'll put links to those down below. You can check those out. Thank you for watching the video, folks. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit subscribe down below if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.